This week has been a rough one. Lately, all of my weeks have been a rough one, actually.
That's rough, buddy.
But that's pretty typical for an art school student. Half of the time, I have tears rolling down my face, either from yawning or from crying. But you know what they say, don't cry, craft. So craft I shall. To my surprise, the last video did really well when I redesigned Twilight. So today I have 3 more redesigns for you. I even asked you guys on the community tab who you would like to see, and the majority of you guys chose Pinky. I'm really glad that y'all chose her because I was already starting to work on her before I even posted that poll, so happy coincidence. I've actually redesigned her a couple times already, but I'll talk more about that later on. So without further ado, let's get started. This time I'm creating a mood board to inspire some design choices. I want to draw from Punk, a little Vivienne Westwood for this Sunset Shimmer redesign. I think it was pretty clear from the way that Sunset Shimmer presented herself that she was always supposed to be more alternative than the main group. Whether you agree or not, it was Hasbro's version of alternative. I'm very aware by the end of this redesign, the vibe is less punk, more general alternative, still very mainstream, but that's just kind of symptomatic of where I stand with my fashion. I think Sunset Shimmer is very similar. She flows between different styles pretty often. We saw her and she was wearing very preppy clothes at first, and then slowly over time she became more alternative, and then you still get some moments of like really just generic clothing anyone would wear. So while I may have failed on the punk aspect, I think overall this design is pretty truthful to her character. Last video I spoke a lot about Sunset Shimmer. I'm still peeved that we don't know where her human version is, but unless they bring it back, I'm just gonna have to live with that. Maybe read a couple fan fictions. Fun fact about Sunset Shimmer: from what we know, she does not have human parents, and she lives in a single apartment, and she pays for it by working at a sushi restaurant. There is even a playset for it that I really want. Look at her, she's so cute. In my last video I touched upon the Equestria girl dolls, and you know, they're ugly, they kind of suck, but these minifigure versions are so adorable. I'm so tempted to just like eat the clothing. It's so Polly Pocket coated. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not a weirdo. Okay, we all ate Polly Pocket clothing. I know you did. Microplastics are no joke, but they sure do taste good. That thing was more smackable than a freaking gusher, I swear to God. Like, sit there and tell me that after a long day of adding and subtracting fractions that chewing on Polly Pocket clothing did not hit. Back to the design. You may have noticed that I drew that skirt with flames on it just for it to be covered up by a freaking base. This is when I regret being a 1-layer person because I do not have a version without it. Now I'm moving on to creating the final character sheet. Pro tip for all of you artists out there: if you want a font to seem less harsh, more homey, type out whatever you want in the font and then trace over it, and then you have a more hand touch quality to your piece. And finally, the piece is done. Little moments I want to highlight are the tattoo on her shoulder. I figure since she doesn't really have parents that she would just go up and get one. She also has a nose bridge piercing along with earrings. Overall, I like how she turned out. The key point to me, the hair, it is magnificent. I love how I rendered that. But if you have any comments to add about, pushing the style further, I would greatly appreciate that. Now let's go to Rainbow Dash. Oh boy, this was a mess. Oh my, it was such a mess. For Rainbow, I wanted to go with a more athleisure, kind of still anime-ish hair. My major influences were kind of like Bocchi the Rock. I really liked that awkward tracksuit that Bocchi wears, so I wanted to do something similar for Rainbow, because despite how much she wants to seem like a cool person, she is very much not. Now, here's where I regret using the pony skin tone for the characters. Rainbow being blue, I don't know what it is, but blue people are very unsettling to look at. It's like the most abnormal color for skin to be. I figure that's why the Blue Man group is blue, and they by the end of this, I feel like Rainbow Dash looks like a blue man. The idea for the tracksuit is that the top half would be warm colors, and then the bottom half would be, cool colors. Oh no, this is when I start fiddling with stuff. I changed the hairstyle from those little side ponies to a mullet, which, it's not that bad. Oh god. The blue abs. Okay. Now we've moved on to just not doing the pants, and we're on shorts. Oh god, that's such an ugly color for the shorts. Why? Oh my, can you see the part where I went crazy here? I ditched the tank top. What am I doing? It's chaotic as hell. I feel like I'm watching a car wreck, I can't look away, but it's so bad. The fucking legs, bro, I swear to god.
Oh, those legs are way too human. Those legs are, oh my god, those legs look like I could have those legs. Please don't show that to me anymore. Please get it out of here. Stop.
It only gets worse from this point. I think the switch up was a good thing that I did. Kind of. She's a little more alive now. Here I decide to change her eyes just because she looks very similar to my previous characters, but that does not stay for long. To fit, Rainbow Dash's theme of sports, I chose a jock font, I guess, a varsity font. And come on, oh my gosh. When will it end? Okay, we're done. Do I like it? No. And neither did anybody else. It performed really bad. 50 likes. I think Sunset Shimmer got 2,000. We don't talk about it. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for. The party pony of the hour, Pinkie Pie. I've actually redesigned her a couple of times already. I think Pinkie's, she's a gyaru, very into J fashion. I would assume in the real world. And today is no different. As a kid, Pinkie Pie was actually one of my least favorite characters in My Little Pony, but as we mature, I think we kind of get over the whole I'm not like other girls. And I definitely think I suffered from that as a kid. I didn't like pink. I would say that my favorite color was gray. Yeah, those sad beige babies, I wanted to be one of them. Thankfully, I'm no longer like that. In fact, my room looks like a crayon box threw up on it, to be honest. And, you know, that's an aesthetic, and I'm glad I achieved it. I was debating on giving Pinkie that classic Gyaru eye shape, but in my opinion, it's very similar to how Fluttershy's eyes are in the actual series. Gyaru is a very interesting fashion subculture to me, just because it kind of is a real-life version of translating something in a different language and then translating that back into English. If you aren't aware, Gyaru is a Japanese fashion that is inspired by American fashion from the 2000s. Like, think Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. But of course, things don't always one-to-one translate, and people add on features to make the style its own. So with Gyaru makeup, you have these overdrawn eyes, heavily tanned skin, kind of fleshy lipstick colors. And while this was a part of the 2000s in America, it's not like it stood out to the extent Gyaru's have done it. It's almost like caricature, but not. Like, all of this is done in earnest and not to mock Americans, even though sometimes we deserve it. You ever just catch yourself thinking, wow, Pinkie Pie really married Weird Al Yankovic's self-insert character? I just know that there are a million bronies out there shaking their fists at God, lamenting about the fact that Weird Al Yankovic, of all people, got their girl. I enjoy a lot of Weird Al Yankovic cameos. If you've ever seen Gallivant, he plays a monk with Bryan Cranston. Yeah, Walter White and Weird Al Yankovic play monks in an ABC show that was also a musical comedy. Did I mention that all of the music was written by Alan Menken? You know, the guy that did The Little Mermaid, Hercules, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Could honestly make a whole video about Gallivant. That show was fucking crazy. I think one of the guys who worked on Rapunzel actually worked on that. And you can notice that season 2 Gallivant's outfit is surprisingly, suspiciously, very familiar. I snatched those balloons away. They were taking up too much space, and she would just look weird in the lineup with one prop. Though I guess Sunset does have a base. Funny thing, I actually prepared this image for Instagram, but forgot her tail, so I had to go back and fix that up, but it should be over soon. Yeah, now we're on to the character sheet. Designing Pinkie Pie came way more naturally to me, I think because I had a solid idea of who she was, what she would wear, and her aesthetic is something I do very often. Let me know what you guys think. Was this a good one? Was it bad? What could be improved upon, you know? Well guys, it's time to wrap up. Let's compare the beginning and the finish. I mean, look at that. I mean, not to be rude, but to be kind of rude. I think I improved upon the characters. But hey, I can't discredit the artists. Like, they did a good job designing the series for kids, and I think my version would skew a little older. Like, the original designs brought in thousands of fans, and I can only hope, dream to do something that well. But you know, this is not one-sided. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What should I do next? I'm thinking I kind of want to take a break from ponies. I'll come back, I promise. But I'm already starting on making a video designing a art sauna. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. Or perhaps there's another series that you would like to see redesigned. If you would like to catch more of my art, please follow my Instagram, my Twitter. I have a Ko-fi and an Etsy you can buy some of my prints from. With all that being said, have a good day, y'all. I'll see you later.